Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Welcome everyone to the next edition to Unstoppable Podcast, stories of brave entrepreneurs, how they break that wall and achieve the first million in sales. Today we're connecting with someone from United Kingdom. Yay! Finally, more people from UK in the podcast. We have a lot of people from US, so we are happy to have fellow people from United Kingdom. So Dan, can you please introduce yourself?
First of all, thanks, Harry, for having me on. So my name is Daniel Osullivan, and I'm the CEO of Red Cactus Events. We run an events and entertainment business over in the UK. So we're just based south of Oxford in a little village called Appleford.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about the events that you run.
So we run team building and corporate events for companies all over the UK. So our experiences are mobile. So we would travel to a venue location, whether it be a customer's office or a hotel or a specific venue that they've hired for an away day. And we would deliver a mobile experience. So we have experiences like Crystal Challenges. We have a Traitors version called Betrayers, which is a TV program over here in the UK, and also I believe in the US. We also run game shows, and we run quizzes and a few other experiences as well. Our business actually started in 2012 as an events agency, and we ultimately organised stag activities and experiences. So we've built the business up over the last 12 years.
Wow, fantastic. And let's talk about that because we do also corporate training all over the world, and the companies, when things going a little bit south, the first thing that they do is to cut in training. And I think that, in my personal opinion, this is a huge mistake, because if things are going bad, is because more training is needed. So what's your view on this, Daniel?
The training side, yeah. I mean, the more you learn, the more you earn. Essentially, is a phrase we use. And ultimately, if you're not reinvesting in your employees, that's going to hurt you further down the line. So we tend to find at the moment that employees are working remotely, and therefore they're not getting together with their colleagues as much as they previously would. So our experiences aren't based around essentially training, but it's around the team building element. So they get together, have conversations that they wouldn't usually have, interact with each other, and actually go away from the event knowing more people than they did when they first started.
I like that you call it the events experiences events, and let's dig a little bit more about this, because what is so bored is to go to a corporate training, right? And then all you find is just a class, shares, lights on, and then somebody will deliver the corporate training. And I think that I remember the first time that we faced this, it was in Peru. We have like we were training a bank, a cooperative over there, and we arrived there 8 a.m. and they are all like that. They
Yeah.
they knew already that the CEO told us that they were not performing. They already knew that, and they say, I'm here because this guy's gonna tell me what to do, and I'm already hating him, and I haven't started yet. Yeah. So, and again, we after 15 minutes they were clapping, dancing, having fun,
Yeah.
and once we turned the training into an experience, into something that we get them, all of them involved, and we put music, dancing, everybody relax, and we manage to convey the idea, right? So in your opinion, is no team building. We can experience a lot of team buildings out there, but if the team building is linked to a great experience, in our experience, this is where we have max the huge result. All the KPIs improve in our corporate training. So how important is the experience? You've been doing this longer than me, for 12 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important to be Frank, exactly the example you said. We do sometimes turn up at events and, there are people that do not want to be there. And ultimately, our mantra is all about we are fun. So all of our experiences are based around fun. We don't have any subjective learning elements or anything that people will take away and have increased their knowledge, but it's all about the bonding element and getting together. So team experiences where we call it kind of the water cooler moment. So effectively, instead of, not speaking to someone or you're speaking to someone on Zoom and you don't really interact with them apart from at work, if you go and do a crystal challenge with them for 2 hours and you're solving problems, you're having fun, you're overcoming obstacles, challenges, you're doing a bit of physical, you're doing a bit of mental. By the time you finish those 2 hours, you can have a conversation with that person very easily. And when you meet around the water cooler, you can say, "Oh, you were on that crystal challenge event with you. Wasn't that awesome?" And then you start collaborating. So it's all about that experience and linking that experience back to when those employees took part.
How about games? We use a lot of games because when we do the corporate training, we find out that when the employees are playing a game, right, it reflects their personality. So when the more games we play with them, the more we can observe how they perform, and we debrief that game. I think the most important part is to debrief after the game. Okay, who win, who lose, why the winner won, why the whoever lost, or who helped who. All these debrief after the games actually help us to point out what are the real issue in the organization, right?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, games and playing is how people, learn and develop social skills as well from an early age. So we often find that, as someone comes into an event, they'll start interacting with people in different ways, and ultimately seniority goes out the window because they're trying to achieve one ultimate goal and they're working together as a team. So we have a lot of competitive elements to all of our events, which makes it fun because the majority of people want to have that experience that allows them to take away something as, they were working towards something, towards that end goal of winning. It's a fun winning. It's not like all or nothing, where the losers go away crying, but
Of course.
effectively everyone likes to win in the end. So the games we have throughout the different experiences that we offer all vary, but we run an event called the Office Game Show, and that is effectively 8 different game show experiences that take part from a lot of the TV programs that you'll know on US and UK TV, and it's a lot of fun, and personalities come out that you wouldn't normally see around the office, with people getting very enthused by quizzes, very enthusiastic with games and experiences. So it definitely brings people out, and we've spoken to CEOs and MDs afterwards who have seen the reactions of their team members in certain situations that they haven't seen before, and it's shown them the capability of some employees that they didn't think were necessarily there.
I think that, in your opinion, how important is team building and this ongoing training in the success of the company?
Especially in these days. I mean, I think the big factor is with hybrid working or working remotely is the lack of culture within, especially within large organizations. Ultimately, you're seeing employees when you need them on a virtual call. It's just not the same as meeting them in person. So if you're able to meet up once, twice, 3, 4 times a year, you're going to be able to reinforce that culture, whether that culture is fun, competitive, whether it's very success driven, or it's just ultimately a really nice place to work. By getting everyone together and actually allowing people to have conversations, it's more likely that people will work together as a team outside of that event and also push the business forward, going further onwards.
Yeah, I agree with you. In today's business world, culture is one of the most important, probably the most important element, especially in the tech industry, and I think in all the industries out there, right? Social responsibility, how the the employees they feel as part of the organization, and yes, with everybody most of the time working online, the the companies could be out there without knowing that they are losing millions and millions of pounds in sales just because the teams are not meeting each other. There are no there is communication barriers. That is, it gets accumulated in the day by day. All these tiny issues. Oh, this person is like this, the other person is like this, and because you're online, all this reflects like that. And because this person is like this, I'm not gonna say my opinion. But then one day you bring them all together, you do a team building, and now everybody's relaxed, everybody share everything with each other, and this is key not that for the companies move forward. Sometimes could be in the range of millions what the companies are losing or are not making just because in the infrastructure of the organization there is no enough effective communication, and it depends basically with the relationship between the teams, right?
100%. I mean, we ran an event on Tuesday for quite a large UK company, and it had been the first event in person that they'd done since the COVID pandemic restrictions were lifted.
Wow.
And there were actually people that were meeting for the first time that had worked together for years, and
Wow,
that
that's
shows,
impressive.
how people are able to still obviously continue to work, but it's the fact that you can work with someone for years because they're based all over the country. They haven't actually physically met up in person. Whereas usually, if you were sales and you were marketing, you might be in different floors or different sides of the office,
Mm-hmm.
but you would be able to know who that person is. But
Yeah, at least in the
ultimately,
lift or something, right?
100%, yeah,
Or
yeah.
drink a coffee or go for a coffee or something, right? So tell us a little bit more. How were they? Were happy? It was a lot of fun. What
That was
happened?
a lot. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we ran it's called a sports day event. So we call it an old school sports day. So effectively, egg and spoon, skipping races, running races, all sorts of fun
Wow,
activities.
that should be a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, so we had food before. They then took part in a 2-hour sports day event, and then they had food and drinks afterwards. So it's like a 6-hour day essentially. But yeah, they had a great time, and ultimately, yeah, getting the team together, they said, they definitely want to do it more, and it's now something they want to do every 6 months because already they could see the synergies where different departments were speaking to each other because they were put in different teams and put in challenges. Some of the sports day challenges were mental as well, so they had to work together to solve those problems, essentially allowing people to have conversations that they wouldn't normally have.
Hmm. How about Daniel, the specialized? Some companies ask us to times to Harry, we need help in with sales training. We need help with team building. We need help with the. We want them to arrive on time. We have this in Latin America a lot, a lot. Customer service. So time to time we need to tailor our corporate trainings to a specific um, outcome that the CEOs they want out of the company. So you guys, can you share a little bit more with us? If you guys also do specialized experiences, if a company want to increase the sales, specialized experiences, if the company want to, I don't know, want all the employees to arrive on time, or improve the customer service, or you guys or you only specialize in team building?
So we specialize in fun experiences. That's our niche effectively. So we can do bespoke experiences if required, but we tend to focus on the
And what
having
you good
fun.
at, yeah?
Basically, yeah, and also we
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
We have fun, the customers have fun, and yeah, I mean, ultimately we can put together. We've got a team of people. We've got games designers. People put together all of our events are our own, and we've got our own spin on them. So we're able to create experiences depending on what the client is after. It would just require a bespoke element, and we can do that in house.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that you say this, that you have game designers, because yes, time to time we have to create the game for the company
Yeah.
because they have a special needs, and creating the game, it have common factors. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. It had to be an experience. So sometimes getting the outcome that the company wants, we can design again. I think that the experience doing games is the most effective training that that could be out there. We, in our own experience, we had reached over 1 million people online, and we had those trainings like that. We do it in Singapore, Peru, Mexico, Dubai also. We have done it. So the the more we do those training, the more we figure out that people, the only way to block the resistance within the company is to an experience, a learning experience that involves everyone and people have fun, right? Nobody wants to work in a place or to create a culture, right, where they cannot express themselves, and playing those games gave them the ability everyone to speak, everyone to express themselves. And some of them can even get the significance that they don't have to work, because I don't know, some people could be more experienced, but maybe they can win a game and have the moment, and this is very important for the team, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's a confidence builder as well, because if you're struggling in the company, like you've only been there for a period of time and you don't know anyone, if you're able to get together with your colleagues and have a good time, it builds your confidence within either your department or within that actual company, that you actually want to stay there. And one of the things that we focus on is ultimately creating that experience for them that is a good time and it's a good memory. So having fun at work and having a friend at work, ironically, is one of the most powerful reasons that people actually stay within a job.
That is, so how big the companies can you handle? 100 employees, 2,000 employees? How large is your team, and how many employees can you actually work with?
It depends on the experience, but we've done events for around 300 attendees at a time.
Wow.
So depending on where they are, often it would be a big conference facility. We can scale probably bigger than that, up to around 300 to 500. But depending on the restriction is often the venue, because you have to provide a mobile experience for these attendees. So ultimately the space is the big requirement. Our big game show experience, which is called the Office Games, allows us to do exactly that. We have a stage. Everyone can play in teams of between 8 and 10 people. We can have 10, 15, 20, 25 teams. Everyone's playing against each other. There's big scoreboards. Everyone's getting involved. Each team's competing against another team. So that ultimately can be scaled right up to hundreds and hundreds of people. And we've done some really, really big stages and some really big fun summer and Christmas parties.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah. And now, Daniel, the question that everybody's listening, what is the question that everybody's waiting for? In your opinion, what are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs should be doing out there to raise the first million in sales?
So the first thing, Harry, I would say, and this is what I always say to everyone, is start with the end in mind, essentially. So you need to think big, but start in a niche. So if you know what you're looking for, so ultimately I wanted to build a corporate events company, but I couldn't start with a corporate events company because I didn't have the money. So I started as an events agency, and I focused on a niche, providing one activity to essentially groups of individuals around the UK. So we ran a website called footballzorbing.com. It's the largest booker of Zorb football events in Europe. We still run that website today, and it still books thousands of events each year. But we started that in 2012. Once we built that up, we then enabled us to start bringing in more activities, more experiences, ultimately ended up us, growing to a larger business that enabled us to do corporate events. But the next step, Harry, I would say, would be process and systems. So once we identified that we had a process that worked, we wrote down every single step. I use the kind of terminology of a heart surgeon, that with an operation, there's a massive checklist, and they go through that checklist before and after having a heart operation. And we went to that level of detail. We wrote down every step from when the customer first interacted with us to when they left us and had an experience, and then we followed up. So we broke that down. We built a bespoke database that allowed us to manage those bookings, so that it linked with our website and our CRM system. And that enabled us to scale, which is one of the key elements. So the third part is building a team for me. We've built a team over a number of years. The team is the most important thing, and we've got a fantastic team at the moment. We have autonomy, which is the key thing for me. So everybody in the business has autonomy to make decisions. We have innovation meetings once a month. We have management meetings every Monday that enables people to bring ideas to the table and allows us to change things if things aren't working. Building a management team is another level up, and that is a team that allows you to work without the business in it. It takes a long time, but once you've got that, it's very powerful. I would then say, Harry, that it would be multiple revenue streams would be the next one. So when we started with football sorbing, we were predominantly working with stag, hen, birthday groups. We then started dabbling with a couple of corporate groups. We then opened up our Red Cactus Events website, which effectively allowed us to do party planning for larger groups and also larger corporate events. We then opened different niches. So we've got a website called oldschoolsportsday.co.uk. We've got a website called footballdartboard.co.uk, archery combat. So we opened up multiple revenue streams so that when the customer was searching for a particular product, we were able to be there and provide a very, very specific offering for them. That allowed us to grow and grow quite quickly. We then finally opened up our website, which is called Team Building Experiences, which was our exact niche that we wanted. And now that is the website that does about 70% of our business. And we didn't open that up until 2019. So allowing for those multiple revenues enabled us to grow using those processes and systems, using the management team to move the business forward to where we are today. Last one, I think I've already mentioned a bit, is working on the business for me. I started working on the business in 2018. So effectively, I mentioned the heart operation analogy earlier. It's because I actually had a heart operation. So I had to have a valve replacement when so it's 2017 and I had 6 months. So I knew I was going to be out of the business for about 3 or 4 months. And at the time we had a team of 5. So every day for about a month, I wrote down everything that I did that day. And I wrote it down on a big list. And then the end of that next week, I then allocated all those tasks out to other team members. Had the operation, 3 months later, came back, I wasn't needed. So I was able to start working on the business. Business went from 500,000 to nearly 2 million in 5 years. And it was all because I'm able to constantly work on creating new things. So for me, Harry, that's the 5 steps to grow past 1 million revenue.
I think that's fantastic tip. I remember that when we grew our business, right? I had a friend that was telling me this. I had this attachment to the team, this attachment to that I had to be there all the time. And I had a friend, an entrepreneur friend of mine, that told me, Harry, go on holiday, disappear for 2-3 months, and let's see what happens. And they told me, if the company does better, is that you have the brilliant team, right? If the company is not performing better, they would tell me the company had to perform better than when you are not around. Then you have to look into this, and I did that, and it was a very rewarding experience because it's a big difference when you're working in the business or on the business. It's like a chess game. I always say, when you are outside, sometimes you can see even better than when you are in, right? Because when you are immersed in the operation, especially the events, we do events all over the world, so it's a lot of operation take place. It can get you really, really busy that you don't have time to think even what's your name, right? So, oh yeah, tell me about it. But then now we're doing a awards gala, so imagine it's like a wedding. God. Anyway, so the whole thing is that, but when you are as an entrepreneur able to position yourself and work on the business, I think that this is the most amazing position that every entrepreneur could be out there, because it gives you the ability for you to do what you do best, which is the creativity, which is make sure that they are happy. This one sometimes when I remember that I had the same experience in my first company when I used to go to the office and they were telling me, Harry, go home, we don't need you. And I was telling the guy, do you need some paper to print? Do you need anything? No, 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 go home. We have everything. We're fine. So it was amazing because you can also focus in help them out how they can perform better. Make sure that the culture, we were talking about culture, right?
Yeah.
Building that culture, paying attention. Because at the end of the day, they are that the blood of the business. Without them, without a great team, we can operate. And especially this type of business, which is all full in, is a business that is not like 9 to 5. When we have an event, could be in the weekend, everybody had to be there, or you know what I mean. It's a different dynamic, and therefore the team need different different look after, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
How,
So
how did you feel when you were told to go home?
uh, honestly, I feel happy. I think that I did create that, I think by accident, honestly. Yeah, because I used to be in the office, right? And everybody used to come to me with the question, Harry, how can I do this? Harry had this problem. So then I put behind my my board, my office, I put behind, don't come with the problem if you don't have the solution. So when they start to come and they say, Harry, you had this problem, I said, do you read behind? And they said, no, I don't have a solution. I said, okay, go back, try to find a solution, then we talk. So in the end, by accident, I did train them to come up with their own solutions. So that's it. When I went on
Yeah.
holiday, they didn't need me because they know that I create this proactive mindset with them, just by accident, I think, because they were coming with so many problems at the same time.
Because
And yeah,
entrepreneurs are usually problem solvers, aren't they? So then it's very hard when you're in the office to not get involved when you see a problem, even
yeah,
though you know that they could probably solve it. And I've been told before that if you say to someone, if you come away, if you go away and come to me with 3 options, guarantee you one of them will be the solution.
yeah, exactly. So I did this because I wanted to be proactive, because I was thinking, not going on holiday, but I was thinking, if I create this habit that every time I have a problem, I come to see Harry, then the day that Harry is not here, they're gonna feel that they cannot operate, right? So I was doing it, and after a year, like I said, by accident, the whole team developed this mindset. They were even, it was a joke in the office. No, 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 don't hurry, because it's not gonna solve you anything. Let's come up with something. But and then little by little they develop a lot, and they grow a lot, and they were fantastic.
Yeah, it's that
So
autonomy piece, isn't it, as well, as in giving them the autonomy to make the decisions.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's them who have to be happy because they spend the whole time there. It's them done, and honestly, they are all clever than me. When you start the business, you start to do your own sales, you have to do your own marketing, you start to do your own thing. But then when you increase your sales, yeah, and then you can hire people that can do these things for you. And what I discovered is that they were all of them 100 times better than me in everything. Oh my god, the first people that I know, they were selling more expensive and faster, and I didn't understand what's going on. I said, how you can do this so easy? It's so difficult for me. And then at the end of the day is to create, like you said, or like we discovered, have that rock star team, right? That they are better than what you do in what they are expertise, and give them freedom.
Yeah.
That the more freedom you give, then the more freedom you're gonna get yourself, right? And obviously you learn this until after, during the years. At the beginning, you start the business, you are very attached. It's like a baby. You don't trust anyone. You don't want to do this. You don't want to that. But as you grow, as you achieve the first million, the second on in sales, in marks, you start to put the dots back together, and start to actually trust the team and trust what they do in there. and it's a fantastic experience. It has been a journey though. I
Yeah,
think.
it
Because
takes time, doesn't
nobody
it?
taught us to us how to do this. I think that
Yeah,
we have to discover by how we see by accident, right?
exactly. Do you tend to hire before you need to?
Um, with our organization, yes, yeah. For example, even the team that is already working processing all this podcast, because this podcast has big production behind. We need to put in Apple and Spotify and in all our social media. We also even cutting shorts with the 5 steps to put in TikTok or whatever. So it's a big production behind this podcast. But the truth is that before even we started, the person already was there and was getting the skills. We were allocated another task, right? And now it's on charge of the production of this podcast. But I think yes, in my view, yes, because we are looking different things. We're looking how this person set into the culture. We know that we are facing a growth, right?
Yeah.
And we know that the growth is coming. Yes, is this idea of this podcast, we knew that the growth is coming. So from that moment, we hired the person. The person had been there, have been working this small thing, doing this, doing that, getting into the culture, getting to the business, getting to work with the team. And now that we are doing this, is the performance have been amazing. We are shocked how well he's performing. So yeah, but
So,
also like you said, when we also anticipate the growth. When we know that the growth is coming, then we know the people before. Yeah. Just give
yeah,
us
because
time
it's
to train them also, because we don't want to put people there and to push
yeah.
them as soon as they arrive. Oh, you have to do that. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of people say sales before operations, don't they? But infrastructure for me is one of the most important things because if you haven't got the infrastructure to deliver the products that you sell, you need to get the people in place before you can do it. And I think that's what you're saying, isn't it? Essentially, before the podcast can go big, you need to build some level of infrastructure and hire before
Infrastructure.
it comes. Yeah,
Exactly, because otherwise it won't run smoothly, right? And
yeah.
then Daniel, so what advice do you have, or what message do you have there for all the companies out there that they are not taking seriously or not giving enough importance to the team building, right? They're not looking into this. They say, it doesn't matter. Let's keep everybody working online, and they're gonna be fine. And they are not aware how important is the team buildings in the organization in order to increase productivity, in order to improve the culture, in order to increase sales at the end of the day, and how they can contact you guys and have access to you.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. So effectively, businesses, people, and marketing, and a lot of people invest a lot of money in marketing, but they don't invest in their people. So we always say that you need to look after your people because, like we've just talked about, you need people to deliver the best products, the best services. So without them keeping them happy, keeping them motivated, and making sure that they actually know their colleagues and are able to communicate and work well with them, you don't have that people part. So it's an essential element of any business. So yeah, I would I would obviously say, but contact team. So our best website would be team-building-experiences.co.uk, or you can reach us at Red Cactus Events as well. So we also run a podcast called We Built This Business, and we interview business owners as well. So you can contact us via any of those channels or on LinkedIn, where my name is Daniel Osullivan.
Yeah, and then it's about to create this transformation in the organization. I think that a lot of people sometimes they talk to me and say, Harry, we need a lot of motivational speakers. Harry, can you do motivational speech? I said, of course, there is huge demand for motivational speakers. You know why? Because everybody at work is demotivated. So, but of course, it's a huge demand. But however, the motivational speaker, it will motivate them up and it will go down again. The motivation go up
Yeah.
and go down. It's better to create an experience. I always tell them, how about transformational speech? How about to do an experience with them, right? Because that transformation, that experience that they have playing a game, playing this, it will actually make a change, right? Than motivate and demotivate. Anyway, So thank you so much, Danny, for your time. That would be fantastic. I wish you the best. Yeah, anything that we can help you guys. We are here close in London. And if you're listening and you are a CEO or management team for a big organization, and I hope that this that we shared today has been useful. Please contact Daniel. They can create this amazing experience for your team, so they can be more happy, they can benefit the culture, and the team can produce more. So bye for now, and see you in our next podcast, how brave entrepreneurs break this wall and achieve the first million in sales. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.